I would now request our chief guest, Mr. Bibek Debroy, to grace the dais and deliver the convocation address.
Mentor, director, faculty members, parents, distinguished invitees, representatives from the press, and most important of all, the graduating students today. I am conscious of the great honor that you have shown me. I am aware that this is a transit kind of campus. There will be a full-fledged campus, but I will always remain the first chief guest at IIM Amritsar. Your juniors may get degrees, but you will always remain the 44 privileged few who got a diploma from IIM Amritsar. You read the papers. I'm sure you read the business papers all the time, or at least pretend to do so. And in the business papers, you will continually come across editorials, headlines. Reforms are happening, or more commonly, reforms are not happening. The word reforms is very, very difficult to pin down, because each individual has his or her own perspective on what is reform. But however you define reform, when you distill it down, it becomes competition choice, and thereby the role or the redefined role of the government. Reforms are about competition. You have been taught economics. You've been taught competition. Competition requires several conditions, only one of which is free entry. Another condition of competition which we are sometimes very reluctant to accept is competition also requires free exit. And in that process of competition, whichever sector may be the sector we are talking about, there will be a churn. And most sectors are very reluctant to accept that churn, to accept the requirement of exit. One particular example of that being the area of management education. I have absolutely no idea, because of this confusion over degrees and diplomas and management programs that are under the rubric of universities, how many management students get MBAs every year. I have come across students with MBA degrees who are doing nothing more than tending to the cash counters in malls. So it is not just a question of an MBA, it is a question of where you are doing that MBA from. And you are very privileged, because you are doing an MBA from one of the better management institutes in the country, even if it at the moment is mentored. I won't be very surprised if not in the very distant future, a future chief guest says, not a better, but the best. Having said that, you've got all the skills. There is nothing more that I can add to your knowledge or your expertise or your perspective beyond what you have already acquired and beyond what the mentor director has already talked to you about. You managers, but have you ever wondered about what the word manager or the word manage means historically? Not today, historically, etymologically. I'm sure you don't know, and I'm sure you will be somewhat surprised and unhappy to know what the answer is. Etymologically, in the 16th century, the word manage has Italian roots, it has French roots, all of which go back to the Latin. And a manager was someone who managed horses. The same root as manual hands. Whoever was good at using the hands to manage horses, in the 16th century at least, became a manager. You've now got your own horses to ride. You're graduating, you're passing out of these portals, except you don't really know, as the mentor director said, what horse you're riding and where that horse is going to take you. There is a famous Sanskrit shloka. I will briefly state it. I will translate it, of course. Amantram aksharam nasti. Nasti moolam anaushadam. Aayog purushaha nasti yojakaha tatra sadudlabha. Amantram aksharam nasti. There is no akshar, no syllable that cannot function like a mantra. Amantram aksharam nasti, nasti moolam anaushadam. There is no root which cannot function as a medicine. Ajoggaha purushaha nasti, there is no human being who's incapable. What is missing? Yojakaha saha sudurlabha. The person who brings all of these things together, the organizer, is the one who's missing. The manager, by the way, the word manager does not have a very ready translation in any of the Indian languages. Yes, you will look at that and you will say prabandhakaha. But the manager is essentially an organizer. I will make only 3 bulleted points. Despite what I have said about skills, about you being equipped with the tools, I will make 3 bulleted points. Bulleted point number 1 is we teach management. We teach management often borrowed on the management texts and sometimes even the cases that are based on the West, in the West. Often the United States or North America, sometimes Western Europe. You will be taught strategy. In all of this, you will essentially be taught how to manage your company, and you will be taught how to manage your competitor and anticipate your competitor's strategies. Once you pass out and join whatever company you're going to join, you will discover and your faculty members, they will not correct me in public, privately they will correct me, will tell you that the greatest skill of a manager in India is not in managing the company, it is not in anticipating the competition, it is in managing the government. It is managing the government at all of its three different layers of federal government, union government, state governments and local governments. Most of your time, let me assure you, will be spent on managing the government. And I'm not using the word manage in any negative sense. I've been out of touch with management education for some time, but one of the things that's always concerned me, that why don't even the better IIMs or the better management institutes teach much more about the skills required to manage the government or governments. Why don't they teach much more, not about the profound public policy statements which you know about, monetary policy and stuff like that, but the nitty-gritty of things like the constitution, the nitty-gritty of things like administrative law, all of which are vital for you to understand how governments function. So this, I think, is one skill, unless I'm totally wrong, that has been imperfectly taught. It is a skill that you will have to acquire. The second bulleted point I want to make is about entrepreneurship. You've been taught economics again. And economists talk about inputs. And inputs are things that go into the production process. You ask any economist to list out what are these inputs that go into the production process, and they will list out land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. And every economist, all economists including I, we have very satisfactory theories about land, about labor, and about capital. Do we have a satisfactory theory about entrepreneurship? Not really, because we don't understand it. No one understands it. And what is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is risk taking. The limited point I want to make is that you take risks, but you are not necessarily successful. To be encouraged to be successful, you have to be encouraged to fail. And right from the day you entered kindergarten, you have been encouraged not to fail. There is a penalty associated with failure. And therefore, right from the day you entered kindergarten, you have been encouraged to confirm. You have been encouraged to follow that standardized template. If that is ingrained into your system, the system has seeded you to ensure that you do not take risks. Particularly in a city like Amritsar, in a state like Punjab, there are people who always take risks, but they have not necessarily graduated from IIM. They will come about when you, perhaps 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, decide to become entrepreneurs, so that you do not seek jobs, but you begin to employ people. That is exactly what the Prime Minister means when he talks about private capital, stand-up India, social capital, and entrepreneurship. So I hope at some point, if not all 44, some of you are motivated and are bitten by that bug to take the risk. I have no advice to give you except to say that marry well. You need a spouse who supports these crazy acts of risk-taking and entrepreneurship. The third bulleted point I want to make is everything that has been taught here is about managing the external world. It is about managing subordinates, managing superiors, and what is not taught but what you know in any case is managing relationships with the external world. You will be in pursuit of happiness, and that happiness will always be defined in terms of relationships with external objects and external individuals. Spouses, parents, grandparents, sons, daughters, grandsons, granddaughters, superiors, subordinates, cars, houses, H-1B visas perhaps, God forbid, but maybe even that. But happiness has got nothing to do with it. Management is also about managing your own internal selves. And at some point, I hope you will begin to ask, who am I? What am I pursuing? What is my end objective in life? Am I just going to be the rat, or is there a little bit more to it than that? And when you begin to ask that question, even if you don't find that answer, you will find a greater sense of self-fulfillment. But as you go out today, all my best wishes with you. You represent the young India that everyone talks about. You are the young India that is going to make India prosperous, developed, less poor, generate more jobs. You have the confidence, the world is beckoning. Go out, establish the brand name of India, establish the brand name of IIM Amritsar, and establish your own brand name. Thank you very much.